This is a revolution.
All Elite
Wrestling squeeze is settled.
I want a match that is
Wonderful.
Bubbly. Paradigm shift.
You wanna kick my friend in his dick?
12,000 tickets sold in just 4 minutes.
The All Elite best tag team division in the world.
Not the Dippin' Dots! The damn Dippin' Dots didn't do anything to anybody!
You're Michael Cole 98. You're Michael Cole 98. All right, let's do this.
And welcome to episode number 24 of the All Elite Hour, aka AEH, brought to you by the fine folks over at AEW All Elite Wrestling Discussion Facebook group. Go to that group, go join it. If you're not a part of it, go join it now or after this podcast. I would say do it before, but obviously can't fucking do that. So don't do that. Do it after the podcast. Go join. All you have to do is just answer a couple questions, and then you're in. It's my favorite source for fucking everything All Elite. And it's also, I believe it's MJ's, the other co-host of AEH. I think it's his favorite source for everything All Elite, isn't it, bud?
I particularly like to go to Mr. Brody Lee's Twitter for that.
Well, that's another good one, Larry. That's another.
Yeah. That's where you got to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
but my name is Brian with MARKEDOUT Wrestling Podcast. And again, that was MJ with the discussion. Well, we're both with the discussion group. Unfortunately, today we're missing Kyle, but that's okay. We've got a fun episode. We're going to answer some group questions. Some group emails. We're going to talk about a little bit of Dynamite, and then I don't know. I guess we'll see where the wind takes us. MJ. So, did you have a good weekend? Like, what did you do? You hanging out? How's quarantine treating you? Or not quarantine? Whatever's going on.
I've actually off topic. I've actually been playing the Batman trilogy. You know, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight.
Okay, nice, dude. That's good. That's good. I've been
wrestling. There's a bunch of wrestling, man.
There is a lot of wrestling. I mean, of course, there was Slammiversary that just happened recently. Over the weekend, so that was actually a fun watch, and we'll discuss that kind of. We'll talk about the names that appeared on air at Slammiversary. So, I know it's not technically AEW, but that's okay because we're going to talk about the names that are still left over, the names that MJ and I think could potentially show up in the AEW. But first, let's get to some group emails, some questions, if you will. And again, if you want to ask or just throw in any kind of topics for us to discuss on AEH, you can do that in the discussion group. You could just send us a DM. You could leave a comment. We usually put up a thread for you guys to throw questions up there. But all right, so let's get to it. The first one comes from Samantha Shea Widger. And this one said, let's see. She said, do you feel that AEW is bringing back to life something that has been missing from wrestling? What do you think, MJ?
Oof. Okay.
Bring me back to life.
This is a lot of people might disregard this opinion. I don't think there was anything wrong with wrestling. I think wrestling has been wrestling for as long as wrestling has been wrestling. I just think that maybe some people don't like to make new ideas, you know?
Sure.
Because you always have the storyline. That's pretty much what it is. Mm-hmm. People like to rehash storylines, you know, make it different, put a little quirk on it. I just think enough people don't.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things about AEW, especially, I guess, is that it's, I don't want to say it's for like the super fan, but I guess like, I don't know, compared to like, for example, WWE, like, I don't know, that's very, I don't want to say cookie cutter, but it's very easy to kind of see what they're doing because they're always fucking playing replays and like, they're assuming that you've never watched anything beforehand almost when they present their characters. In AEW, not so much. They kind of assume that we're already familiar with them a little bit outside of, you know, previously before the existence of AEW. But I mean, that's also just because they're a new company. I I don't know. I'm kind of rambling right now, but
well, you're right. Well, there's a reason why I call WWE the one track company, as in there's only one good storyline all the time.
Sure.
I won't knock. I mean, hell, they got hell of wrestlers, man. They put on great shows. It's just they're limited to what they do because of what's supposed to be in a storyline, other than what's supposed to be in a wrestling match. Now, I don't work there. I don't know that for sure, but it damn sure does look like it. But
sure, yeah.
As an AEW, people got to realize this too, is that there's more up-and-comers than there is vets. And that's what you got to deal with, You can't just expect these people to have good-ass matches, not even deterring how long they've been in the business. You just can't expect them to be good night in, night out. And you can't expect the storyline to be good every week and week out. So...
Mm-hmm. Well, they should be like engaging. Like you should at least, I don't know. I mean, you said that they should be, what would you say that they should be week in and week out? There should be storylines, like the same one, or I mean, specifically like with like a specific feud, let's say.
Well, yeah, I don't think that you should ever have a week where you shy away unless the storyline comes into that. Someone could be suspended. Someone could be, oh, you hurt me, kayfabe, and then that would have a week off of the storyline to bring in another one or to keep on going with another one.
Right.
And I will. This is the AEH. This is the All Elite Wrestling podcast. I will say that AEW is kind of lacking that right now.
Well, they had Britt Baker. I mean, she's been hurt, and they keep her on TV. I mean,
well, it just seems that some of their storylines they either drop them.
Yeah.
Make a weird, wacky turn with them.
Sure.
Which is, I get it. People have to understand that they don't have their roster. They don't have their original plans running. So therefore, I can't knock them for that. I mean, they've done a couple stuff that I was like, whoa.
Right.
I like that.
Right.
But then the people have to understand that when you look at a company, there's no such thing as perfect. No such thing, and people have to accept that. Mm. So you know what's missing from wrestling? Cool fans, dude.
Well, yeah, that I definitely miss that. That whole aesthetic is kind of, I don't know. That it makes that like everything like kind of real about like what's going on. How everyone just kind of has to stay home and stay away and social distancing and all that. So I don't know. Do you think actually? Well, I know they have a live crowd now, but do you think they'll get to the point where, because they're doing in the I don't know if you watch baseball at all, but they're putting up fucking cardboard cutouts of actual fans in the seats and like filling the stadiums with cardboard cutouts and I don't know if they're piping in live sound while the players are like on the field and stuff. That I feel like that would be, I guess you kind of have to. If you're putting fucking cardboard cutouts, why stop there? Might as well have voices too, right? I don't know.
And that just means that they care about their product. I mean,
yeah,
they want you to feel like you're actually watching baseball the way it's meant to be watched. So
right. All right. So thank you for the question, Samantha. And we look forward to some more from you. Let's get to the next one. So this one comes from Casey. I don't know if I'm saying Casey Pelletier. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your last name right. Let's see. So Casey's question is, going forward, is it going to be detrimental to keep having ready-made stars debut, move swiftly into a title program, and in turn start their AEW run with a big notable loss, i.e. Brody Lee, Lance Archer, and most likely Brian Cage? So this was before, obviously, the Fight for the Fallen match. So what do you think? What do you think, MJ? Do you think that AEW is kind of bringing in guys that are already have a big history, and as opposed to bringing up new talent and kind of promoting them from within?
All right, here goes a deep answer. This is another thing. This is another thing that's on fans. I mean, I'm sorry to go back on it, but that's what it is. Is that it's a new company. You can't treat them like they were in another company because they're not in the company no more.
Yeah.
So I feel as if AEW is making the right decision in letting the people that are already there, already building themselves, already have the records and already have the storylines ready to go, to get the wins over the big guys because they're just starting out. I just think, and plus, this is as much as a big pop it was for Matt Hardy and Brody Lee to debut. I think it was very detrimental to how it played out. I don't think it was that big, you know. They didn't debut in front of a crowd, and I think that kind of kills the push going forward. You know?
Well, you named Matt Hardy, and him specifically. I mean, he didn't get boosted right away to the main event or anything like that. He's kind of just been doing his thing with, I mean, kind of coming out with Private Party and mixing it up with the Bucks and the Elite and all that stuff.
And that's good, and this is good too because they're not treating these guys any differently.
Right.
They're letting. That's what I love about it too, is that they're just letting them do what they want to do. And some people knock the company. Oh, they're just going to end up doing what they want to do and anything. See, they're exaggerating that. I'm sorry. Khan and anyone doesn't let anyone do what they want to fucking do.
Right.
They don't have full creative control. They just listen to their ideas, and if it's fucking works, it works, right?
Right.
So,
it seems like it's a much more collaborative effort than previous any other big companies, I guess. Right.
People just can't take an owner not having his own vision. Like, that's what it is. And that's okay. That's what you're used to. That's okay. But don't knock other people just because they want to follow that kind of follow.
Right. No, that's a good point. So I guess what's your answer? Do you like it? Like, would you prefer them having new faces in the main event, or like, do you think it benefits their roster from bringing in these guys from the outside?
I think it benefits.
Okay.
And I think that if you didn't have them, I mean, what's the point? If people like them, then
right.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
why wouldn't you just shove them up there?
Yeah, and a guy like Brian Cage, I mean, they kind of got around it at Fight for the Fallen with the whole Taz throwing in the towel, which we'll get to that. But so it's not like it's not like he lost his one of his big debut matches or one of his first big title matches rather.
Oh, and people got to think about this too, is that ever since the Brody Lee thing, have you noticed that this is Mox's gimmick, that these new big guys are coming in, challenging him and winning matches to face him, and he's just like, dude, come on with it. And I didn't realize that until I saw Cage lose.
Sure.
Spoiler for the later on, but
right.
That's what it is that they're building up Moxley to be the biggest badass, and any newcomer, any big guy that wants to come face him, they're going to have him, I'm not going to say tear through because he's getting fucked up, but he's figuring out ways to win.
Sure. No, and it makes sense. It elevates himself and the company and the AEW world title with him, like you said, beating these guys that are coming in that we already know, and having, the AEW champion beating them. You're right. It makes them look all that much stronger. I'm with you.
Because even with right now, we can't go by records. We can't. No, not everyone's there. Not everyone is there, so you cannot do it.
Yeah. You know who I totally forgot about? Fucking Pac. I'm like,
oh yeah, I never forgot about him.
You never forgot about Pac? I mean,
I never, because I knew that he would probably, I think that he was supposed, my opinion, I think at one point before all this, he was going to face Mox for the title at one point.
He had to have been, man.
I think it was going to be a long feud too.
Right. I think so too. All right. Well, thank you for that question, Casey. That was a fun one. Let's see. This next one comes from Dwayne Perkins. Let's see. Dwayne asks, he says, new faction starting with Cody, FTR, and Hangman, but Hangman and Arn turn on Cody and bring in Shawn Spears to replace Cody. Okay, so he's pitching a little bit of a story, I guess, here, or a little angle with the Four Horsemen. So let me read that again. Starting with Cody, FTR, and Hangman, but Hangman and Arn turn on Cody and bring in Shawn Spears to replace Cody. Well, first of all, I'll ask you this. Do you think that we'll actually see a Four Horsemen type of stable, if you will, in AEW?
Yeah.
You think so?
They're already teasing it,
I know they're already teasing it. They have it in a while, but like maybe they're just going to be teasing it, and that's their way of bringing us in. Like, oh my god, maybe it's going to happen tonight. It never does.
It's doubtful that they're going to be called Four Horsemen.
What are they going to be called then?
Has to be something.
Well,
Either way, it's good. Either way, people may hate, all that shit, but look at the place that they're in. Look at the people they're around. If it's a go, it's a go,
Yeah, but I mean, you have to have a name. Like, do you remember? I don't know if. Well, I know you were on an old TNA kick recently, so maybe you do know. But do you remember? Didn't they try to like bring NWO back, but they changed it? They were called The Band. Or
yeah.
Like, do you think they could do that? They could do something like that?
Yeah, but what would they call it? The Horsemen? I mean,
I don't know.
The Four? I'm telling you, that would work. The Four, that would be fucking awesome. It just goes with it,
Or they can like get like a Norwegian type of gimmick and be the Four Norsemen, like look like Vikings. No, they already had. They
can just be MIA.
They could be MIA. That's right. I fucking love Misfits in action.
I mean, listen, Hangman being in this faction doesn't. I mean, it makes sense now since we know what we saw, but
yeah,
it just, and that's good that because people just think. I got a lot of stuff going through my head because that just puts so much stuff in place of what they're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like they do other stuff just to distract us, They just put on little storylines just to distract us.
Oh, definitely.
Bigger shit that's about to happen.
Definitely. Well, I mean, like even just all the subtle little teases that, like, for instance, the guys in FTR do, like flashing a little 4 symbol, and same thing with Cody, like him, all these guys have been doing all these little subtle things over the past, I don't know, a few weeks at least, just dropping all these hints, but we still haven't seen anything. But you're right. We did see a little bit of a kind of teaser with FTR and Hangman kind of mingling last week. But you know what? Before you even brought that up, I didn't even think of that. The only thing I was thinking of the entire time was that the whole kind of dynamic between Hangman and Kenny, and with him in the Bucks, like the way that their match ended. Right, at Fight for the Fallen, wasn't it Fight for the Fallen? When when Kenny was in the ring, and yeah, because it was
yeah, it was.
All right. I thought I was going crazy. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, because it was the Elite versus right. Okay, so yeah, they were doing the whole thing with Hangman and Kenny not really getting along with the Bucks. So I don't know. Maybe at some point we could see. I guess at some point Hangman and Kenny have to go their separate ways. So
Tully was there for the FTR match and for the Cody match. So
that's true. Yeah, that's true. I wonder where Cody fits in all of this. Like, is he going to be a part of it or no? That's what I want to know. But it's almost like a given that we know it's going to be FTR and Shawn Spears.
But listen, they're really making people act weird. Kenny was acting weird this week. Mm-hmm. Cody was acting weird. He pulled a fucking turnbuckle off, and Arn was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Right. Yeah, right. He went against the game plan. That's right.
And then he fucking hugged Sonny after winning, after doing all of that.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, a little weird. Now that we're talking about it, I could now I want to have Kenny stray away and go with FTR and maybe Shawn Spears, and then maybe that's his group, and then Kenny's the leader.
Oh man, Kenny totally flipped his whole fucking storyline this week.
They did. Yeah,
I
right.
don't know what the fuck happened?
He was just like a happy-go-lucky milk drinking.
At first, I thought it was because of the anger of earlier in the night, but then he started laughing. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's getting kind of creepy, but I like it. So I guess going back to the main question, Dwayne, replace Cody. I don't, I kind of, the more I read it now, so Arn turn on Cody and bring in Shawn Spears. Oh, so I think he's asking for Shawn Spears to be the leader. I don't think Shawn Spears will be the leader in this faction. I think he's going to be more of like the muscle. He's going to be the kind of the enforcer, if you will. Even though he's not necessarily with Arn. I know Arn is the enforcer, but he's got the black glove, bro. He's got the loaded glove. So, I don't know. Thanks for the question, Dwayne. What'd you say?
The loaded glove, man.
The loaded glove. All righty. All right. So this next one comes from Unpopular Review. Thank you for the question, Unpopular Review. Let's see. And they ask, does Moxley spike ratings? He was missing 3 weeks, and NXT won those 3 weeks. He's back at Fight for the Fallen, and they win. Thoughts? Wait.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
I can't account for the first week, but I know the 2 weeks they had the Great American Bash, right?
Yeah.
So that was fighting against Fyter Fest, which
Correct.
I don't think Fyter Fest delivered as much, but it's still, it did what it did, because you had complications and shit, so you can't really dispute that.
Right. Well,
But man, I don't want to say it, but I feel like it's true. I feel like just because it was Fight for the Fallen and NXT was just NXT this week,
yeah.
I feel like that's what did it. But I'm pretty sure Mox was on that first week they won when Mox and Brian Cage had the back in the parking lot.
Right. I don't remember going back all the way that far. I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday, but
of course he spikes ratings, man. Duh.
yeah. I mean, he's Dean Ambrose.
John what? I mean, dude, John Mox is the most interesting man right now.
He is.
He's the 2-belt champion in 2 different promotions.
Yeah, and not to mention, I know the I'm sorry, the FTW belt wasn't on the line when he faced Moxley, but having that kind of in play too. I mean, at least for me, I'm an old school ECW fan. Like, that was fucking cool to see Taz out there with Cage and the old FTW belt. It's fucking awesome. So I mean, I know that wasn't the biggest story of the night. Of course, it was Moxley's. I mean, what was the last time he had a match? I can't remember the last match he had.
It was Brody, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think you're right. Holy shit! When was that?
No, it was against that guy on Dark. Remember?
Oh,
was his last
Anthony.
match.
Anthony.
Yeah, the rematch with that guy. That was his last match.
Tony Anthony? No, it's not Anthony Tony. No, that's like
Something
the same
like
name.
that.
That would be Tony.
Everyone knows what the fuck we mean.
Yeah, Anthony Henry. No,
the long time fucking rematch he had with the guy. That was his last match before this match.
Yeah, god damn it. What's his name? It's gonna bother me.
I hear the phone, man. I hear it.
No, Robert Anthony.
Robert Anthony.
That's what it is. Robert Anthony. Yes. Which he actually had a match on Dark against Ricky Starks. That was a pretty fucking good match. Starks actually got a nice little raspberry on his face. It was a pretty physical match. But anyway, all right. So So going back to the question from Unpopular Review, what was your final answer? You said, do you think Moxley spikes ratings? Yes or no? You said yes, right?
I think Moxley's their most popular wrestler.
I agree. And he's also the champion. I mean,
the champion. And plus, he beat their other most popular wrestler for it. So think about people. See, when people watch wrestling, Unpopular Reviews, they remember,
Sure.
They remember it's the reign, Oh, man, he beat Chris Jericho for that title, man. And he's a title champion right now. So that's,
Yeah. And then we have another, this isn't necessarily a question, but I'm just going to shout it out anyway since they wrote it in here. But it's a charity organization. It's called forthenomads.org. And it's a charity fundraiser that is for touring crew members of the music industry that are out of the pandemic. So go check it out. You can go on Facebook, or you can go check out their site, forthenomads.org. That's forthenomads.org. And go see what I know they were giving away, or they had a auction for Kazarian's trunks, ring ward trunks. So they're giving away cool stuff, I guess, with wrestling and within the music industry. So go check it out. And also thank you for joining the group for the Nomads. That's right. Alrighty. Let's see. So let's talk about Fight for the Fallen. Because there actually one of the things that I want to ask you about, because I don't think we haven't even talked about it yet. The opening match, we had Cody defending against Sonny Kiss. So what were your thoughts on Sonny Kiss? Well, first of all, did you like the idea of Sonny Kiss even having a shot challenging Cody? Because I know a lot of people were saying, like, why is Sonny Kiss having a shot? Like, hasn't even been, he's been wrestling matches on Dark for the most part. Why all of a sudden is he getting a shot at Cody? Which, I mean, I didn't have a problem with it, but I want to have you. What's your opinion on the whole thing? Like, did you like the match? What's up?
I loved the fucking match. It was right on point. Nothing was fucked up. They did everything, what they thought they were was supposed to do. This is why people are mad because what? You had a couple matches on Dark, and then he had this match with Cody. Well, would you rather have Sonny have a match with another indie person,
right,
that they know of, other than actually having a match and getting to work with a big name on TV that's a champion, even though it's a loss? I mean,
right.
it's kind of, I don't know, building your stars.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously so they have no ranking system for the title, right?
For the TNT, no, because it's just an open challenge.
It's just open challenge title.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure Arn gets to pick who the fuck faces Cody. Sometimes Ricky Starks. That's who Arn picked. Yeah. Right? So I think people are misconceiving what, I don't want to say it like this, but it has to be said, the gimmick of the title is.
Sure. No, I'm with you.
People are not listening. That's what it is.
Right.
People aren't listening. They're just reading. That's all that is.
Right.
And plus, people have a big problem, wrestling fans. I'm not even going to bring it up on here.
That's not even part of it.
Fucking bring up.
Right. Exactly. I enjoyed Sonny. I fucking love the entrance. And
his fucking forearms, man. The forearms, dude. You see an arm like, oh my god.
Right. But this was definitely by far Sonny's best match, biggest match in AEW thus far. And just to echo what MJ was saying, I totally agree with that. This is how you build just original, new AEW wrestlers. You have them wrestle the bigger names, and even though like you said, and we all kind of knew, it's not like we didn't think that Sonny was going to win the TNT title just kind of completely out of nowhere. But we could still enjoy it for what it was, and it was a really good match. So, and it's get over yourself. It's an open challenge title, so it could be whoever. Which it's definitely going to be whoever, I guess, in the next few weeks, because all those 90 days, what's it called? The no compete. Yeah, the no compete clauses. Those are all.
Plus, come on, dude, you're having a boss opening a match with a person that's not even established. So why people just can't be happy? It's all right. It's fine, dude. It's all right. If you want to be that type of fan, that's why you're a fan,
Yeah.
Ow.
You all right? You got a concussion?
No.
I don't know. What else stuck out to you about this
Tully?
Who, Tully?
Tully.
Why?
Oh, because they just kept on panning it to him like, Tully's in. I almost called him Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin was it?
Macaulay Culkin. They keep on panning to him, and just like, why is he in the crowd?
Yeah.
And that's pretty interesting. And also the Cody pulling the turnbuckle off the.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, slight heelish maneuver.
Kind of weird to hug your opponent after you do heelish tactics to them.
Right. Well, I mean, and also looking at their ratings. I mean, they're up from. Well, I mean, they're slightly down from the July 1st from that week, but went down a little bit, and now they're back up. Which, I mean, they beat NXT this week. Also, they crushed NXT. Which I know a lot of people were saying. that was the thing too. Like when NXT went up with Great American Bash to kind of go against Fyter Fest. Thank you.
Wait. Fyter Fest night 2 was last week. That's what JR said.
Yeah, according to JR, that was last week, right? Yeah, jeez. But they were NXT was, first of all, it seemed like they threw that together real last minute, but also they stacked the card with having Keith Lee and Adam Cole for both of the titles. So I mean, that's
again.
No, I'm just saying for that night too.
Okay. I thought you meant I was like, what, again?
No. But that's one of the nights that they lost. However, no, you know what? I believe they did. Didn't they have a rematch? No, Keith Lee defended. He defended against someone for both of the belts? Oh, Dijakovic. That was his first defense, and it was for both of the belts again. So I mean, granted, that's not the bigger, that's not the bigger match. Obviously, they were promoting the Cole versus the Keith Lee match for a few weeks, but still, it felt very thrown together. it seemed like they were just stacking the deck just because they wanted to beat them for those, that was like a short-term answer. Whereas AEW, they're building more stories. There's a lot going on. It's more of a bigger picture plan, it seems like. And again, they beat them. They won in the ratings this week. So fuck off, NXT.
Do you think?
Yeah, what?
Do you think they're gonna reach Raw numbers anytime soon?
I
saw the Raw numbers, dude. I saw them, man.
They're starting to drop.
I think AEW is what? Only 500,000 away?
Something like that. Yeah, because Raw was over. It was like 1 point something. It was super low. I can pull it up right now.
SmackDown's their lowest rating show, right?
Oh, by God. I don't think anyone watches SmackDown. I don't even think anyone that works at Fox watches SmackDown. They just kind of turn their eye and just let them do whatever the fuck they want.
I mean, dude, I know this is an AEW podcast. I got some of my favorite wrestlers in the WWE.
Sure.
I can't knock that, but
yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Well, are you, speaking of, we're recording right now. This is Sunday. We are on, we're coming up on the the heels. Well, not the heels. I guess the horror show is going to be starting relatively soon.
Oh, shit.
So we got that going on, too, today. So we're going to get to see someone losing a fucking eye, apparently. Which... Yeah, all right, speed round, MJ. Who's going to lose their eye? Rey Mysterio or Seth Rollins?
Kevin Dunn.
That's a great answer. Yeah, so unfortunately, I have to. I'm going to go watch that later on. Well, not unfortunately, but kind of. Hopefully, it's a good show. I'm always optimistic.
I'm optimistic about the Drew match.
Yeah. All right, let's get back on track. So. We had FTR versus the Lucha Brothers, which that was a solid match. I enjoyed it. I liked the fucking finish too, with taking the mask off. That was
didn't fucking like that. I'm like, dude, that builds a rivalry, man.
Right.
He just did the most disrespected thing to him, dude. People didn't get that. I don't think people got that.
No, yeah, exactly. I don't think they did. But that's kind of like, what do you think, MJ? Do you think they're heels? Do you think they're faces? Do you think they're in between? Like, what do you think FTR is right now?
I think they're finding their place.
What does that mean, though? Like,
that means that they're pinpointing who they like and who they don't like.
But I mean, they're using heel tactics, right? I mean, ripping off someone's.
I think they're really going in the way of they're just going at their own stride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like
like the anti-hero, like as Austin or...
Well, I'm trying to... I got the... It's a tag team. It's in my head. What?
LOD?
It's like the Briscoes, man.
Oh, okay.
It's basically like the Briscoes. They're so disrespectful, but man, holy shit, they're good.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to respect them, but then they're just like, man, fuck off.
Right.
I don't want you to respect me.
Well, I mean, things were...
they're heel. They have to be heels from now. They just poured beer on Kenny Omega, the baby doll of fucking AEW.
That's true. Yeah, but I mean, Kenny also beat up fucking Marco, right?
Well, that was later on, though.
But still, I mean, is Kenny a good guy? Is he a bad guy? So if they're pouring beer on a bad guy, wouldn't that biologically?
You know what struck me as weird also?
What?
That Kenny was wanting to drink a beer with FTR, but wasn't going to drink a beer with Hangman.
Yeah, that was a little strange. Well, I think you could see him mouth the words that he was like, he said, I don't even drink beer, or I'll have one. Like,
yeah, he said, I'll have one.
I'll have one. Yeah, right, that's what it was. Yeah, that was interesting too. I was like, oh man, I thought he was gonna do like a Kurt Angle type of gimmick and just pull out like a carton of milk or something. I don't know, but it is interesting what they're doing with FTR for sure. Because they're definitely not straight up. Well, they haven't been straight up heels. Because also now you have to fucking think about Butcher and Blade. Like, they had the keys to their car, so that's a heel move. So everyone is so intertwined. It's so weird. But I love it. I love that they're playing.
Well, you got to think about what they said the first time. Tony Schiavone asked, do you think you and Bucks are a big match? They said no. Remember? They sat down.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and they said, no, we don't think it's a big match. So right there just tells you that they're...
True.
Fuck
That's true.
CEOs, man.
So, all right. So if Butcher and Blade stole the keys to their car, what are they? Are they heels? Are they faces? Like what? I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess I know, but
Well, think about this. This is actually plays into one of the questions from earlier. What is wrestling missing? Maybe this is what it's missing. We don't fucking know.
sure.
That's the thing, that we can't think of what the fuck's gonna happen next. We always can. What the fuck?
Right.
Maybe that's what
a
it
good
is.
point. That's a good point. All right. Well, what did you think about the whole? Well, actually, before we get into it,
Actually, I'd like
what?
to say something about the match.
yes, please go.
It wasn't a perfect match.
No.
If they didn't click in the beginning, and what I loved more about it is that they started to click. That's pretty much what I had to say.
Okay. Well, so where do you think this? I mean, do you think this like feud continues in any?
Oh
capacity?
yeah. Oh fuck yes. Nothing sells more than mismatched tag team wrestling.
But I mean, FTR beat him.
Yeah, but come on.
What?
Dude, I can see it now. FTR is going to be standing, and remember when Rey Fenix kicked fucking Orange Cassidy's head off? Something of that nature is going to happen.
All right. I hope so. All right. So what did so I guess if you guys haven't seen it yet, go back and watch the replays because there was a fucking Chris Jericho in the Inner Circle. Basically got a whole. I'm trying to compare it to another segment. The only one I could think of is when it happened with who was it? DX and fucking.
That's exactly.
Yeah, right. Where they had all the. Was it poop or was it?
No, it was poop.
It was
Remember?
poop.
Because they said
poop.
look up and they had Spirit Squad and.
Right. Why do I remember there being like green slime somewhere? Wasn't
That was in another segment.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So but it's basically the gist of that. Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle were inside the ring, and Orange Cassidy gave them the thumbs down and doused all of them with a shit ton of orange juice, which was a pretty fun visual. In fact, initially when I heard the sound of it, I thought they just dropped like a ton of oranges on them because it just sounded like a right, like it sounded like just like I don't know, like a bunch of things hitting the ground at the same time. But,
Shit.
but yeah, there was just shit everywhere in the ring.
Dude,
Chris Jericho's, yeah,
Ortiz, man.
yeah, swimming in it, doing the old school sell. I love it. And Jericho ruining his $7,000 jacket. What did you think about this segment? Like, did you what did you think, MJ?
Okay. Here goes another little method fucking talk I'm going to put here. They're going to have another match. Duh. Obviously. But I think it's going to be, like a table, like, hardcore match to put it to the end. But this segment, I didn't like it until they gave Chris Jericho the towel. At first, I was like, this is kind of stupid. Then when he handed him towel, I'm like, all right, that's kind of fucking funny.
Yeah. Also, we didn't mention too that he unleashed a new, I guess, catchphrase of his.
Oh, yeah.
He is now going by the Demo God. Which, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts?
I think that having Jericho as a spokesperson for I guess it's not. I guess it is a direct hit, isn't it? It's a direct shot, pretty much.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, it's a direct shot. I think that if anyone in that company were to do it, you would have to have Jericho do it.
Agreed. Yeah, he's the guy, right?
Anyone else except for Cody would sound dumb doing it.
Yeah, like
even FTR and Brody Lee, they weren't there for that long, so they can't really talk. Right. Brody Lee was, but he wasn't there longer for Jericho than Cody though. So
right. And then moving along, we have the Elite versus Jurassic Express in a nice 6-man tag match, which there were a bunch of good spots. Actually, Marco had the phenomenal, what was it? Destroyer from inside to the from the outside to the inside of the ring. Go back and watch it if you haven't watched it. I can't even describe it. It was pretty insane. But ultimately, this was a good match. But the ending is what where all the story was, with Kenny putting a beat down onto Marco, and the Bucks having to kind of pull him off and kind of talk him out of it for a little bit. But And you know, we talked about it a little bit before, but I guess I'll just ask you again, MJ. Do you think that this leads to Kenny going away from the Bucks, or do you think the Bucks turn their back on Kenny first? Like, where do you see this story going?
Cleaner. I think that's exactly where this is fucking going. He's getting sick of it. He's getting. I can see. I can see what he's gonna say now. I'm sick of putting on a smile all the fucking time, dealing with everyone's bullshit. I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. And he's gonna start fucking beat triggering everyone, and he's gonna be like the ultimate heel. I can fucking feel it. I can feel it.
I'm with you 100%. I want that to happen. Yes, I want him to get the broom too. Bring back everything.
People just got to remember. Remember how the Bullet Club was with all these guys? Mm-hmm. Remember when it was Cody versus Kenny? I feel like that's gonna happen soon.
Okay, all right. I like that. That's interesting.
Because also during the match, FTR came in, as you said earlier,
right?
Had a drink with Hangman.
Yeah.
Which I think that everyone's gonna start to turn on Kenny. It seems like it's gonna happen, right?
A little bit.
Hangman didn't say go away, FTR. You slashed my buddy earlier.
Right. Yeah.
You had to have seen it happen, you know. So
who do you think is going to end up, I guess, kind of going like their own path? Like, do you think it's going to be Cody, or do you think it's going to be Kenny? Like Cody,
Kenny.
You think
has to be Kenny?
Because I mean, although Cody, I guess, has allies. I guess he's got Arn, of course, and of course he's got Brandy, but they don't really, she's not really involved with him all that much as far as storylines go, I guess. At least for now. Obviously that'll change, but I just feel like a lot of people have turned their backs on Cody, right? Isn't that's the whole thing? Like,
I mean,
MJF
Kenny
turned
too.
his back.
I feel like it. That's why I said that. Kenny too.
True.
That's why I said that earlier about him having to deal with all the bullshit because. Fuck, what was I gonna say? I had it in my head, Brian.
Sorry.
Okay, this is what it was.
Yeah.
I remember when I'm gonna say it's one of the Dynamites. I was like, man, Kenny's acting ridiculously fucking face right now. And ever since he's been ridiculously face, I just like, man, that's not what is going on. Now I'm like, oh, now that he just unleashed against Mark, I'm like, oh, now I see what's about to happen. It's just. There was face Kenny, but there wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm having, there wasn't joy Kenny. It was still, I'm still kneeing people high by shit. But he's just overly doing his shit. So now it just feels like he's gonna be like, I'm done putting on this facade, about to V-trigger everyone.
Right. Love that V-trigger everyone. All right. So before we talk about the main event, there was a quick match between the Nightmare Sisters and MJ Jenkins and Kenzie Page. I almost called him Goldust. Sorry, Dustin. Yeah, Dustin Rhodes come out with the Nightmare Sisters, which I guess that's their thing. That's what they're going by. Nightmare Sisters, Brandy Rhodes and Allie. She's
I was impressed.
Yeah, were you?
For as long as the match was and what it was, they let the other people get offense in too. So I was impressed. By Brandy.
Oh, by Brandy, yeah. But what about because you brought it up a little bit before about how sometimes AEW will just kind of drop things or go a different path, and this is one of them with Allie. Just they didn't really. I don't think they explained anything with how she's not a part of Butcher and Blade anymore, right? Like they didn't do any kind of big like send off or like split between the group, right?
No.
Not that I know of. Yeah, I can't think of anything. So I don't know. I mean, that is a little disappointing in that they just kind of squashed it without any kind of nothing. But
well, I feel like the reason why is because Ali was away while they were there, so they had to have something for them to do. So I feel like for them it wouldn't.
But she's married to Blade, bro.
Oh, so
what?
Selena's with Andrade, so.
I'm saying, but they travel with each other and everything.
Oh, well.
It's not like one is on NXT, the other's on main roster. Like
maybe she has other ambitions,
I don't know.
Maybe she wants to be her own wrestler, which, I mean, that's what they're doing. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe she wants to wrestle, and they didn't have a spot for her to wrestle in with those two.
That's a good point.
Maybe that's what it is.
That's a good point.
Look what they're doing. They can't have. Look what they're doing. They're with the Lucha Brothers. They can't have Allie on the side. What's
right?
What's she gonna do?
Right. No, that's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, but I mean, this was a quick match. This was just to showcase, obviously, the Nightmare Sisters. But we should also, I don't think we haven't discussed it yet, but we'll throw it in there. Before the main event, we also saw who Nyla Rose's new manager is. None other than, excuse me, Vicky Guerrero.
She said it. She hasn't been saying it, and she said it.
She did say it, and it's also all over her entrance music. Shout out to fucking Mikey Ruckus for nailing that one. What is it? Scratched her saying "excuse me" all throughout like the song. It's fucking great. So good. What do you think about Vicky being her manager? Do you for it? Do you against it?
That's a win, dude.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing when I thought about it at first, I said, well, Nyla doesn't really need a mouthpiece. But then I thought about that. Nyla didn't explain her as a mouthpiece. She just explained her as someone that can help me win. So
true.
You gotta listen. That's what I do. You gotta listen to these fucking wrestlers talk.
Right. All right. So that brings us to our main event. We had the returning Jon Moxley defending his AEW World Championship against Brian Cage, who is the FTW champion, self-appointed, or I guess appointed by Taz, but. The FTW belt was not on the line though. This was just for the big one in AEW. But it was a decent back and forth match. But really, I guess what I want to talk about is specifically, obviously, is the ending. So spoiler alert. If you haven't watched it, fuck it. You know what? It's like we're 5 or 6 days afterwards. You should have fucking watched it. If you're not watching this, then fuck you, because you should have watched it. So, Taz, while Moxley has Cage in a modified armbar, Taz throws in the towel, and automatically they ring the bell. Moxley wins. Cage didn't tap out. He didn't necessarily tap out. He's still a machine. Still makes him look strong. Taz threw in the towel. But I want to get your thoughts on what you thought about this finish. Did you like this finish? Did you think they're rehashing stuff? Like what are your thoughts?
They could have done something different.
Like what?
You know what they should have done? They should have had him choke him out just like he choked fucking Brody out. The only reason why they had him do the arm thing is because all through the match, which I never heard about no bicep injury. When the fuck did this come into play?
No, isn't that what he had? No, he had a back problem, right?
Yes, he had a back problem. He had a something about I don't know, discus or something. A discus lariat or something.
What he should have done the fucking Taz mission. I mean, he had
dude,
it right,
right
in front of Taz. Like,
yeah, but I understand why they had him do it, because Moxley has done arm bars before,
Has he though?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, no, you're right. He has. But this wasn't an armbar. This was like more like Becky Lynch's disarm.
Well, it was more like, it really did look like, come on. Well, he had his legs under his knees and his calves under Cage. He wasn't he
under Cage, right?
Chopping him up. Yeah, he just pulling his arm and looking at Taz,
Yeah.
They could have done it differently.
I know a lot of people were saying like, well, why didn't he physically get involved? And I don't know. Can he? I mean, I guess
he has a neck injury. I think he has a neck injury that he can't really do all that.
I know he can't bump, but I mean, he can get in and out of the ring, and he could choke.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know that doesn't lead to anything.
But they had to make John look like a badass man.
Right. So what would you? I mean, did you like it, or you just think that they could have done something else?
Man.
I mean, you saying they could have done something else, I guess, implies that you don't like.
Man, it just okay. One thing I can give it is that when the MJF thing happened, it's been a long time since that happened. I'll give them that they didn't just probably automatically think of it. They probably just said, work the arm injury, put him in an arm bar, look at Taz like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And he threw in the fucking towel.
Right.
Just shouldn't have made him throw in the towel. They shouldn't have done that.
Well, I think with the comparison with MJF, with his towel situation and the whole, this towel with Moxley and Cage, like when correct me if I'm wrong. It was MJF that threw the towel in during Cody's match, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was doing that because him and Cody, like he ended up low blowing Cody. Like he had it out for Cody. Now, it doesn't seem like Taz has it out for.
Well, I think his mentality was, I don't want his fucking arm to break. He's my meal ticket, please.
Right.
I'm just gonna throw in this towel.
Right.
Okay. Now, I think there's a subject we're forgetting here, is that AEW doesn't want to do DQs.
Mm-hmm.
That's, and I think that, I don't know, that might have been just the way to do it.
True. That's true.
We don't want to DQ. You look strong. Do what you need to do. There you go.
What about? I mean, count out would have been that kind of.
I think they don't want that either.
Yeah.
They don't want anything to. I mean, it's better. It is better. It's better the way they did it. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
It's better than just making it a faulty fucking match.
Well, my whole thing is that I hate it when people. And you didn't necessarily say it, but when everyone's saying, "Oh, well, MJ, it's the same thing like MJ," no, it's totally different from MJF.
It's story.
Yeah, I mean, now they probably shouldn't do a towel thing anytime soon, unless it's involved with this story, I guess. But probably stay away from.
I mean, if they want Taz to be known for throwing towels, all right.
Yeah, right. If that's his gimmick. But after the match,
he's a fucking armbar towel. I can see him every match towel.
Right, towel. Taz, you're throwing it too early, bro. Chill out. So we also had a returning Darby Allin. The lights went out. I thought it was going to be Sabu, but instead we had Darby Allin return with a skateboard to the throat of Brian Cage, thus setting up a nice little feud, I guess, between. I didn't see this one coming. Out of all the people, I thought. Actually, no, that doesn't make sense because he fucking injured him, right? Yeah. Was that the whole gimmick? Yeah. At Double or Nothing. So
it's just very unfortunate they had to use Moxley in the championship to revive that.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I guess they kind of protected Cage, so that's a win. They set up another story moving forward with Cage and Darby Allin. That's another win. I guess where does Moxley go? Who's the next challenger? Because I think, judging by the rankings, I believe MJF is the next man up, and you can't do that. Or I guess he could. Why couldn't you?
Who's below him?
Let me pull him up.
That'd be too early to do that, dude. Way too early.
I think it goes MJF, and then no, it's not Cody because he's the TNT champion, so he can't be involved. I think it's Brody. Let me see.
Can't do that again. Please don't do that again.
Right.
That fucking match was an emotional roller coaster. I'm like, what is gonna happen? What is gonna happen?
All right, so Brian Cage, then MJF. Oh, Lance Archer.
Okay, good, because that's exactly who the fuck I was thinking of.
That's got to be the next guy up. Has to be. But I mean, he just lost his one of his first big matches against Cody. He lost that one. You're gonna have him really go up against Moxley and have him lose again. I don't think they're like, if that is the next feud, which, I mean, this is just speculation. We have no idea. But judging by the rankings, if that is the next feud, I mean, I can't see them. Do you think they would really I know what you want, but do you think they would, they would put the belt on Archer? Really?
They got Jake. He's got Jake the Snake, man.
Well,
you got to notice stuff, dude, is that everybody they're putting these old managers with, except for Spears. He ain't got no title. He ain't got no gold.
No, not yet.
I mean, fuck.
I guess it's Archer, because after that it's Jericho and then Brody. You're not gonna have Jericho again. He's mixing it up with Orange.
Just need Pac back. That's what it's what
he needs to come back.
But if he comes back, he's gonna be man. If they scrap Death Triangle, man,
that is a bummer. Or maybe somehow he gets involved with them in the Butcher and Blade and that whole scenario. I don't know. The whole tag division is kind of, I don't want to say it's in question because there's a lot going on. Like, it's great. There's so many awesome teams. It's just it's hard to judge. Nothing is really a given. Kind of. It's just like everyone has a hand in different pots, which is great. That's the way it should be.
And what's weird too is that the tag belts are getting held by 2 single stars. Yeah. Yeah, right. And it's been held by 2 single stars. This is second ever, right? Yeah.
Yeah, SCU is a first. That's right. So I don't know, man. It's definitely interesting with where they're going. And then, do you have the matches pulled up for next week? I thought I had it, but I don't.
Okay, here we go. Well, I could already say one is that Cody versus someone.
That's right.
The Bucks versus Butcher and Blade.
Okay.
I remember that one.
Yep, that's right.
I don't remember anything else.
Is MJF in action, or is MJF?
Yeah, MJF is in action.
Is he? Yeah, maybe. I'm excited for next week's episode. Again, I don't know what's going to happen with all the border rules and laws that are going on. Pac is overseas, so
it's very.
Maybe we can take like a submarine or something, or we can fucking get him over here somehow. I don't know how, but all right. So before we wrap it up, I don't know. Go by water. You're not going to drive here. You're not going to fly. Well, I guess you could fly. I don't know. Who do you think is going to be the challenger for Cody? Because again, all those guys that were fired from WWE, they are all available.
I don't know, man.
Come on, you got to pick one. All right. So can we at least say do you think it's going to be someone that is not in AEW? That's not part of the roster right now. That's going to be debuting, or do you think it's going to be Billy Gunn?
Man, it's hard to think now. You know, it really is hard to think now, because even from that company, people are like, oh, there's still free people.
Sure, yeah.
But you don't right now. You don't know who Cody's in contact with or getting to face him and shit. So
right, Eric Rowan, or
man, listen, I said Fever Dreams.
No Way Jose.
No way. What? He got released, man?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
They're wrong for that, man. They really missed out on some main event talent.
All right. Well, it's almost. I think it's almost that hour. We've almost gone the distance, if you will. So let's get into some plugs and anything you want to get out there.
Pura Lucha Libre. If you like the AAA aspect of it, or any other Mexicano Lucha Libre promotions, then hit up that group. It's a sister, brother, uncle, aunt group, Auntie, poppy, grandpappy, grandma. Yep. That's really what all that I have going right now.
All right.
Oh,
that's all right.
Watch Marked Out podcast.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that too.
And hopefully they can go Fridays,
Hopefully we can go Fridays. What's on Fridays? Oh, I know. Hopefully we can go on Fridays. I'm fucking with you. That's right. All right. Yes. I guess also I'll do Kyle's plug. Go to Carmen Childers AV Tech on Facebook. And actually he's got a bunch of new gear out there. Go support him. Go buy a t-shirt. He's a solid dude. I know he does a lot of shows for SHW, Southern Honor Wrestling, which is kind of almost like it's almost becoming like a feeder system kind of for AEW. So go there, Carmen Childers AV Tech on Facebook. I believe he has a big cartel website, so you can go purchase t-shirts and all the other gimmicks. And then while you're there, afterwards, you can go to, like what MJ said, go to YouTube and subscribe. Just go click on that little bell. Go subscribe to Marked Out Wrestling Podcast, so you can get notifications for when we throw this show out there live, and also on our Mondays and Wednesday night shows. But I guess that just about wraps us up. So thank you for your time, MJ. As always, it's always a pleasure talking wrestling with you. Yes, and I'm going to be going and enjoying the whatever the fuck a horror show is. So are you going to be watching?
I can't watch the whole show, man.
Yeah.
I think I at least believe in World Wrestling Entertainment enough to know that their opening matches are actually statistically pretty good. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna, and the pre-shows matches are pretty good. People overlook it because they want stars more than wrestling.
I hate pre-shows personally, but
I actually have some breaking news. Ooh. It's not AEW at all.
That's okay.
It's just Jay White is on his way back to Japan.
Oh, all right.
Everyone should expect all these wrestling people to turn his way and go away from all these Cornettis and
Hey, hey, don't you speak badly about him.
Well, Jay White.
Yeah, Jay White. All right, well that's good.
That brings me to my conclusion.
Oh, okay.
Our conclusion.
This is our
H's conclusion.
Mm-hmm. You could take us out. You feel like it? I mean, you're in a good mood. You talked about Jay White. Things are okay.
We're gonna do it differently this week.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
We're gonna do it for this.
What are we
Fear
doing?
the path of Cage.
Who better than Cage? Oh, fear the path of.
Fear the path of Cage, man.
All right, fear the path of Cage. I guess I'll have to get Taz in here. All right, that's AEH.
And good night, Ben.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Marked Out Podcast is produced and edited by U-Record Studios and from Charlotte, North Carolina. Subscribe, follow, and listen to us live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Download the podcast by following us at podbean.com or subscribe on iTunes and Apple Podcasts. While you're there, go ahead and give us an honest and fair review and rating. Finally, if you have enjoyed our product and would like to see us grow, please donate to us by visiting the donation link below our live video, or you can donate via Venmo and Cash App at the handle RavePro. That's RAVEPRO.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.